TV shows and movies have led us to believe that a reaction to a sudden death should be loud and visual. But in the real world, that's not always true. And this leads to people being accused of not caring, or worse, coming under suspicion. Today, we are not talking about grief. We are talking about the immediate reactions that an individual may have when the cops show up on their doorstep and tell them a loved one has suddenly died. First though, we post death and dying related videos every Friday. So if that's your kind of thing, consider subscribing. Now let's talk reactions to sudden death. Just so we are all clear before we start, the cops turning up on your doorstep doesn't always mean that someone has died. And if they are telling you someone has died, it doesn't always mean it was by foul play. When we say sudden death here, we could mean by car accident, heart attack, pulmonary embolism, opting out of life, murder, the list goes on. Essentially, a death that you didn't see coming, unlike a death from, say, terminal illness, old age, drug addiction. Now that we're all on the same page, let's go to the reactions. Vomiting. Certainly something they don't show you on TV. Some people are physically sick almost immediately when told the news. It's like the information bypassed their brain and went straight to the gastric system. Many police officers have a tale of their shoes being thrown up on after making the call. Short-circuiting. This is a colloquial term for when someone is told the news and you can kind of see their brain just stop working. On the outside, they will be very still, not reacting in any way, and when you try to get their attention, you can't. On the inside, it's like they've been stunned with this information and they aren't thinking anything at all and often become unaware of their surroundings. This person is likely to go into shock, so it's best to call an ambulance. Aggression. Like it says on the box, really, they hear the news and lash out. It could be lashing out at the person who told them, it could be throwing things, it could be yelling and screaming. It is often coupled with disbelief and then repetitively accusing the person of lying. This is not a reaction that lasts long, usually no more than half an hour before they start crying. And this kind of reaction could come out of anyone, even those who are usually quiet, docile people. Seeming okay with the news. For some reason, this reaction really seems to annoy others. They are sat down, told of the sudden passing of a loved one, and there is no reaction. They seem perfectly fine, like they've just been told what they're having for dinner. They are still alert, and from the outside, it seems like the person doesn't care. This is very common in people who are fact-driven and not led by emotion. These people are not some kind of unfeeling psychopath. It's just going to take some time to digest. The planner. These are people who do not want to feel their emotions. Their immediate reaction to the news is, what do I need to do now? They will immediately be asking for contact details for the coroner and searching the web for funeral companies. These people will either never face their emotions and just keep themselves busy for years, or after the funeral and estate is all done, they will fall apart. Laughter. Strange reactions such as laughter, fits of giggles, excessive smiling can be unsettling for others to see. Mental health professionals and neurologists are not entirely sure why it occurs, though there is a lot of research going on about it. It is mostly believed that it is your brain's way of trying to equal out the emotion in your brain, and it goes overboard into excess. We also see this in panic situations, like when someone's being mugged at knife point and they just start laughing. On another note, those with neurodevelopmental delays may also laugh when being told bad news like this, as their brain desperately tries to find the correct emotional file for the situation. Depersonalization and dissociation. Depersonalization is feeling like you're an outside observer to your thoughts, feelings, or body. Like you're floating in air above yourself or a part of a video game. Dissociation is a sense of unreality and the loss of one's connection to time, place, and identity. Both are common in PTSD, but they are also common during traumatic situations as a kind of protective mechanism by your brain. In this situation, people usually come out of this state within a few hours. Demanding answers. This is an individual's way of trying to understand and confirm the death. They will demand to see the body immediately, demand photos, evidence, every detail of the death immediately after being told, and they won't take no for an answer. There are specific reasons why having all this information at once, particularly to this reaction, is not a good idea psychologically, and whoever is telling them the news is going to have to walk a fine line here. Putting it off. This is someone who has been told the news, and instead of reacting to it, they insist on completing their plans for the day like nothing has changed. I need to take Joey to his piano lesson. I need to cook dinner. Without meaning to, their brain is trying to ignore the problem until they feel they have time to deal with it. They have heard what is being said, they are upset, but they want to have time to work out how to react to it first and savor a few more minutes before their life falls apart. Disbelief. Possibly the most common reaction, particularly to a sudden death. How? Why? I just saw them this morning, how can they be dead? The person giving the news may have to repeat themselves many times over, and it's not that the individual isn't listening, they are just trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together in their mind. And if you've ever done a puzzle, you know that's not always easy. Often there will be many tears involved once this puzzle comes together. People's brains don't always work in a logical way. The types of reactions that we've mentioned are only a few possibilities, but the point is people's reactions to bad news are not always visual and over the top like we see on TV. And to believe that it should be is extremely naive. Just because someone doesn't immediately react by crying doesn't mean that they haven't understood what is being said, or that they aren't upset, or worse, that they're somehow involved in the person's death. And an individual may not react in the way that you think their personality would. So if you're the one giving the information, be prepared for any reaction and don't take it personally. And with that, please like and subscribe if you've learned something new. Now, go talk death.